Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. It is time once again for another episode of Midnight's Edge After Dark. I am joined once again by Mr. Tom Connors. How you doing?
I'm doing the best I can. How are you doing, Rob?
I am doing fantastic, and I, of course, am your narrator supreme, Mr. Rob Robot Shlomo, coming to you from Shabby Road Studios. Tom, we got a bit of a lean show this week, don't we?
Well, it has been a lean bit of news lately, so yeah, the last few shows have, but that's all right. We're just going to give you a bunch of news real quick, hopefully, and easy to digest. A little bit of a diet news. Diet news, yeah. So we've got actually quite a bit of Netflix news in the for us this week. Yeah, we don't really have like a main story, but we have a ton of Netflix news, so I guess we might as well just make that kind of the main story, and then we'll get into the roundup.
Netflix actually has released its list of most binge-raced shows. Now, binge racing is when you sit down and you watch an entire season, end-to-end, wire-to-wire, over the course of, maybe 12 hours, 18 hours, or whatever it is.
I think that the actual definition says within 24 hours. But yeah, I think that's the whole thing, is the standard Netflix shows, if they're like a 12 episode or a 24 half hours, it's about 12 hours, 12, 13 hours to watch them all, with minimal breaks.
The most I could watch is maybe 3. And then I'm like, okay, I can't do this anymore. So anyway, so these are the list of Netflix's. They have a list of 20. You can easily find the complete list at /film. But for brevity's sake, we are going to only list the top 10. Okay, these are the top 10 most binge-raced Netflix shows. And number 10, Stranger Things.
Oh, no surprise there.
Yeah, number 9, Orange is the New Black.
Okay.
Number 8, F is for Family.
I'm not too familiar with that one.
Number 7, Santa Clarita Diet. That's kind of weird.
Drew Barrymore show.
Oh, okay. Drew Barrymore, she's kind of good. Number 6, Trailer Park Boys.
Not surprised there.
No, yeah. Number 5, The 7 Deadly Sins.
I'm not familiar with that one.
Number 4, Marvel's The Defenders. Okay,
no surprise there.
Yeah, no surprise there. Number 3, The Ranch.
Okay.
Number 2, Fuller House, your favorite.
My absolute favorite.
And number 1, Gilmore Girls, A Year in the Life.
That one kind of surprised. I knew that was going to be high, but I'm surprised it's not none of the Netflix Marvel series has made the top 10 other than Defenders. I'm very surprised.
Yeah, Fuller House really doesn't surprise me, because a lot of people really have a soft spot for that.
Oh, cut it out.
Hey, cut it out. Joey Gladstone. People used to say I reminded them of Joey Gladstone. Please. And Dave Coulier used to date Alanis Morissette. Let's not forget that.
And we know what
You Ought to Know is about. Yeah.
You Ought to Know is about. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway,
no, I can't stand Dave Coulier, and even worse yet, it was like an insult when they replaced Peter Venkman's voice on Ghostbusters with Dave Coulier over Lorenzo Music.
Oh my!
It's just horrible. I'm sorry.
Well, anyway. But anyway, we have more Netflix news actually. Netflix. A lot of people spend a lot of time watching stuff on Netflix, right?
Well, as we just said, we just talked about binge racing. And a lot of people just binge in general.
Yeah, the whole Netflix and chill is going to be taken to a whole other level. Netflix, they're pouring a ton of money into original content. Netflix is going to be releasing up to 80 original films next year.
What? No, did you read that wrong, Rob? 80 films? Holy shit.
80 films. And 30 anime series.
Wow.
Yeah, that is
you like your anime? Here's your fix.
Yes, we don't have word on what these are going to be. The 80 films, actually, a lot of them are actually going to come from big-time directors. Actually, the film Bright, starring Will Smith, directed by David Ayers, and Joel Edgerton is involved. That has a $90 million budget. And Martin Scorsese actually has a film called The Irishman coming in 2019. So Netflix, as we've been saying for a while, they're not just a streaming service. They're not just a television network now. They're becoming a worldwide studio.
Well, yeah. It's just getting insane. I mean, and look at this. Obviously, they're trying to... well, we just brought up on our last show, there was a story we covered where Netflix just had over 5 million new subscribers and this huge leap in their stocks and all this other stuff. And I guess a lot of that came from... they just expanded overseas in a lot of areas, and even some internet providers, I guess, have Netflix have made a deal with Netflix to have it as part of their monthly subscription to the internet. So I mean, right there's built-in subscribers, so that's just insane. So obviously they're trying to appeal to a large mass audience that's worldwide, and at the same time, 80 films in a year. You did the math, Rob, and you said that's 3 films every 2 weeks, basically.
Yes.
That's crazy. This is like 3 or 4 studios in one, guys. The average studio puts out anywhere between 15 to 20 some movies a year, roughly. And that's insane.
Yeah, actually, I just found on USA Today, there's actually some numbers. They claim, according to Nielsen, the first episode of The Defenders averaged 6.1 million viewers in the week following August 18th. And Cards and Fuller House averaged 4.6 million viewers. So they're pulling in TV network numbers. And it's mostly adults 18 to 49 that are watching things like House of Cards. So, and they're obviously getting younger viewers with Defenders. So they're all kind of all over the map with their demographics. I mean, they're pulling in a lot of different demographics.
They're not fucking around.
No,
they're not fucking around. they're coming out guns a-blazing, and they have to. As we've covered on the show here, Disney is coming out guns blazing as well.
Yes,
because they've announced it. They've drew their line in the sand. They said, this is it. We're doing it ourselves. As of 2019, they're not going to have any more Disney anything on Netflix except for whatever remains of the Marvel shows and whatever other shows they have any kind of deal for that were originals or whatever that's going to stay. But other than that, it's all adios amigo.
I have to ask though, what does this mean for a service like Hulu? I mean, because Hulu is sort of the direct competitor. There are a lot of things. I mean, Hulu has tried some original films, original series, The Handmaid's Tale, and the Beatle documentary was a Hulu production last year.
Well, they're up in their game, and it's interesting you bring that up because I seen a counter article to some of this stuff we're talking about today, where it talked about basically how another, especially Hulu or Amazon, could basically come in and give Netflix a run for their money. And Hulu is doing just that. Right now, guys, I'm not even advertising this. Obviously, I wouldn't give you the competition if I was advertising for one or the other. So here you go, guys. Right now, Hulu is offering not only 1 free month if you're a new subscriber, but they have a new $5.99 package. So that's dirt cheap.
Yeah.
And Hulu has a ton of shit. The only difference is between if you go with $11.99 package, that's commercial free, and they have a $39.99 package where you actually get live streaming television channels. I think up to 50 channels or something like that.
It's actually not bad.
I'm thinking about that.
It's actually not bad.
And Amazon's really starting to become a thorn in their sides as well.
Amazon actually, and Netflix passed on this. Amazon has, I don't know if you're a fan of Top Gear. The car show from
I'm aware
BBC.
of it, and we've talked about it, and I'm not a huge fan or anything. My kid's a fan, but yeah.
Well, Amazon, they ponied up, I think it was $30 million to get the guys from Top Gear to do a show on Amazon Prime called The Grand Tour. And that, they won't release numbers or whatever, but that is popular worldwide. People, I mean, that was one of the most. Top Gear at one time was the most watched television show all over the world with 450 million viewers. They claim.
Right.
And those guys actually they snapped them up, and the Netflix said no, we didn't feel it was worth the money, and Hulu said okay, fine, we'll spend it. So Amazon said we'll spend the money. So Amazon is willing to invest the money.
Well, and there's some people who kind of disagreed with our comment last episode where we said, Netflix is the new cable. Well, we just pointed out to you, not only is it the new cable, it's like new 3 or 4 cable networks and a regular network and
a movie studio.
3 or 4 movie, not just one, but 3 or 4. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, so you can't tell me it's not. And they're like, well, some rural areas and stuff like that. Well, that's true to a point. But I live in a rural area where I live where it's very rural. We have very little choices outside of satellite and like one other cable provider. And it's not even like a brand name cable.
Okay, here's a question though.
But everybody has
here's
Netflix is what I was going to say to end it.
Oh yeah. Netflix, they're making 80 original movies. I mean, how long before they start doing like family productions Disney or like DreamWorks? I mean, those have got to be in the pipeline.
They've got to be thinking ahead. Definitely. I mean, here's the thing. Disney and Netflix have had a very good relationship for what now, at least 5 years?
Yes.
So I'm sure this is really hitting them where it hurts. You've got the biggest movie studio saying, you know what? Sorry, guys, we're out. And we know they were fighting to keep a lot of that stuff on Netflix. They were trying to at least keep the Marvel and Star Wars movies on Netflix, and that didn't work out for them. So yeah, it's a big deal. This is kind of crazy to think about because, like I said, this is like 3 movie studios and a couple cable networks all wrapped into one, and this is the future, guys. This is what we're looking at right here. I mean, love it or hate it, it's gonna happen. It's happening. It's happening.
I'm wondering how long before one of these streaming services snaps up a major franchise.
Well, and that's just the next step. We'll look at like the whole thing with the Marvel Netflix series. That was like the first step there.
I mean, we may wake up one day and I'm not predicting this, but just as an example, we may wake up one day and read that Amazon Prime has bought the distribution rights to the 007 series. Like I said, I'm not saying they are going to.
No, you're just using it as an example. Yeah. Well, and they're going to have to. It's a good point you bring that up, Rob, because look at it this way. If they're going to all have to compete with Disney, look at what Disney's got. Disney has more than just one of those.
Yeah, yes.
Davy and Goliath here. And there's a lot of
This is like Goliath and Goliath.
And one big-ass Goliath.
This is like...
Well, you've got Amazon, you got Hulu. They might distract Netflix enough to where Disney could really make some real waves here, but we'll have to see how that goes in the next few years.
We didn't this is not on the agenda, but the Han Solo movie has a title.
Yeah, I seen that
title. Give us a drum roll. Titled Solo, a Star Wars story. Ooh, I wonder how they came up with that title. Jeez, hey guys, we need a title for the Han Solo movie. What do we got?
Honestly, yeah.
I'm the more news I hear about the Han Solo movie, the less I'm caring. I don't know why.
I agree. You're hitting it there. So yeah, the movie nobody asked for gets a real shitty, lame ass title.
Solo: The Early Years. Make it.
Yeah, might as well.
Okay, here's what we do. Okay, we make it.
What would you do?
Yes.
I gotta stop. The Beatles end.
And Joe Cocker will.
Joe Cocker, I'll have to pay.
So my dad taught me to fly.
I met a Wookiee.
That's when I met a Wookiee who became my
they got Harrison
friend.
Ford. No, they got better yet. They got Harrison Ford narrating.
Yeah, exactly.
I met a Wookiee. I was punch it, Chewie. And, who's scruffy looking?
I was just a kid. What did I know? So anyway. Okay, but I have to say, though, get ready because it is almost time for the roundup. Ladies and gentlemen, for the roundup.
Yeehaw!
Well, buckaroos, it's time for the roundup. Okay, first item in the roundup. I have to first say that someone in the comments said that they should have a drinking game where every time I say the word "so," you have to take a shot of whiskey. So,
Solo cup.
yep, you're gonna be drunk off your ass by the end of this one.
Oh, hell yeah. You've made it to the big time now, Rob.
Oh yeah, my own drinking
There's
game.
a drinking game. Wow. I wonder what mine's going to be.
Anyway,
I won't get one.
no. So,
Nobody likes me.
first item in the roundup. Lone Wolf and Cub remake hires Andrew Kevin Walker to pen screenplay for Justin Lin. Justin Lin, as we know, was the director of Star Trek Beyond, which is actually a pretty good movie, but nobody saw it. This comes from...
And, of course, some Fast and the Furious movies.
Yes, and Fast and Furious. This comes from Slash Film. Seven scribe Andrew Kevin Walker has been tapped to pen a new adaptation of the manga Lone Wolf and Cub. Previously adapted into a 6-film series in the 1970s, the new take on Lone Wolf and Cub will be produced by Justin Lin, who will likely direct it as well. Giving a little background information, Lone Wolf and Cub, the classic manga created by writer Kazuo Hyoke and artist Goseki Kojima. I don't know if it's related to the...
I'm seriously not picking these on purpose, Rob. I swear to God.
It's a challenge.
I mean, okay, just so you guys, here's a little, nugget of behind the scenes. We both pick the stories out. I don't deliberately pick stories where they've got hard names for Rob to pronounce. You can't get away from it.
Yeah. But anyway, this is about to find a new lease on life courtesy of Seven writer Andrew Kevin Walker. The Hollywood Reporter reports Walker will write and produce and possibly direct. A proposed new Lone Wolf and Cub has been kicking around Hollywood since 2003, with Darren Aronofsky at one point attached to direct. Lin's involvement with the project was previously announced in 2012, back when David and Janet Peoples were hired to write the script. Now Walker has the job. Not familiar with Lone Wolf and Cub, but I know we have a lot of anime fans out there.
Right, and manga is, yeah.
Yes. Actually, I'm a big Lupin the Third guy myself, so yeah. So anyway, okay, I have to take a shot now. I'm a fan of sports documentaries. Are you a fan of sports movies, sports documentaries?
Yeah, for the most part, yes.
Okay.
And this one looks interesting, though.
This one does look interesting.
Well, not only that, it's Morgan Spurlock. So
yes, the
continue, Rob.
The supersize me guy. Springfield of Dreams: The Legend of Homer Simpson. Morgan Spurlock documents the Simpsons' baseball legacy. And this comes from IndieWire. 25 years ago, back in 1992, Homer Simpson did only what was possible for Homer Simpson. And that was single-handedly win a big softball game for his power plant team. Okay, now let me interject. The scene where they show him swinging the bat in slow motion, with his stomach just going all the way around his body. that still cracks me up.
Well, here's another interject to take it way off the rails. This is what I'm talking about when it comes to Simpsons. Nobody remembers an episode after season 8 or 9. But you remember this episode.
Yes, because it was a classic.
Anyway, continue. Yes,
it was probably one of the first one a lot of people saw. That's why.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
One of them.
Continuing on, the season 3 episode, Homer at the Bat, told the story of this tremendous athletic achievement, one which involved MLB players like Wade Boggs, Jose Canseco, and Steve Sachs in the city of Springfield.
Well, I think if you've been living under a rock for about 30 years and haven't seen the episode, the reason all these MLB stars are there is because Burns wants to win the softball game, so he hires all these
ringers,
MLB stars to play on the team. It's insane. It's funny. It's a hilarious episode. It's a classic.
If you haven't watched it, watch it. It's well worth the watch. Okay, now Fox Sports is commemorating this historic anniversary with its own documentary directed by Morgan Spurlock. Springfield of Dreams: The Legend of Homer Simpson will feature highlights from the game and the events leading up to it, such as the moment Homer's historic Wonder Bat was first created. Oh.
Which, of course, is making fun of The Natural.
Yes.
I
love The Natural, and I was like...
I'm sure you are, but some of our younger audience may not be. Great film, guys. Check it out if you haven't. Robert Redford.
Robert Redford. Isn't he that old guy who was in Captain America? But
he's always at Cannes.
He's always at Sundance, isn't he?
Sundance. Is it? Where is it?
Where is it? Okay. Spurlock was saying, I love The Simpsons so much and am proud to be reunited with them on this incredible special. A special so special that it not only celebrates Springfieldian Homer Simpson, but one that reminds us all that maybe if we tried a little less, great things can happen.
I love this. I'm glad I sent you this.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm reading this too. Okay, continuing on. Bob Canseco and Sachs will be featured in the documentary, offering their insight on what exactly happened during Homer at the Bat. In addition to the former MLB players, interviews were also conducted with legendary sports broadcasters Joe Buck, boo, and Bob Costas, yay! New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio, Tim Gunn, and current Yankee slugger Aaron Judge, as well as Springfield residents Homer, Moe, Chief Wiggum, and Apu in never-before-seen animated clips voiced by Dan Castellaneta and Hank Azaria. If our people listening to this who don't know who Aaron Judge is, if you're not a sports fan, he's a current slugger for the Yankees. He hit 52 home runs this year. And he is 6'7", 285 pounds. I mean, the kid's a big drink of water. Let me just say, if the fact that he is so tall, and he's so big, and he hits the ball a mile. Jeez.
Well, no, you were talking about Joe Buck before the show.
Yes, Joe Buck. Not a good fan. Not a big fan of Joe Buck. Not a very big fan of Joe Buck. To me, it is you hate. I don't want to rag on him too much, but let's just say he's gonna be real. If the Yankees hold on to win the ALCS, he's gonna be pretty sad. So,
but it looks like this documentary's coming up real soon here.
Yes, according to Fox Sports, viewers with an NFL matchup airing at 1 p.m. Eastern will get to watch the documentary. At 4:30 p.m. Eastern, with NFL match, and viewers with the NFL matchup airing at 4:05 will get to watch it at 3. So it looks like, is it this Sunday, I believe? Let me see.
I would think so.
Yeah, so it looks like it's this Sunday.
Awesome.
Yes.
Now I'll have to go to my parents because I wish I had cable.
Yeah, but like I said, this is one of the classic Simpsons episodes. If you've never seen it, please, if you think if you think the Simpsons died after season 7 or whatever,
oh well,
please, that's neither here
I don't
nor
think
there
it
for
died,
this.
But it's like I have watched. Okay, I'm gonna put it this way, guys. You've never met a bigger Simpsons fan than I was, especially when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I watched The Simpsons from the time they were on Tracy Ullman. I was there for the first episode. I was there from every episode on. I've never missed an episode, even up till now. And this season is horrendous so far, but I still haven't missed an episode. So
it's really tradition. It's tradition.
Yeah.
So Tom, you've got a kid, right?
Last time I checked,
I don't have a kid, but actually, yeah. Well, this story is kind of interesting. A company called VidAngel has declared bankruptcy and has put their copyright fight on hold. This is according to Variety. VidAngel, the Utah-based streaming service that filters out offensive content, declared Chapter 11 bankruptcy on Wednesday. Pardon me. The filing is designed to put its copyright battle with 3 major studios, Warner Brothers, Fox, and Paramount, I believe, on hold as it seeks to expand its new filtering service. We have millions in the bank and we're ready. We're already making millions on the new system, CEO Neil Harmon said. Business will continue as usual for our customers and our employees and all our team. VidAngel's original service gave family audiences the power to filter out violence, sexual content, and foul language from mainstream studio releases. The company did not have a license with the content owners. Instead, it bought up copies of DVDs, decrypted them, and then, quote, sold them to users who accessed them online and then sold them back to VidAngel. VidAngel argued this was permissible under the Federal Family Movies Act.
Yes, this has been going on for a while. Sorry.
Yes, anyways, that act was designed to allow filtering of offensive content. So, boo on them. There's a David Tell joke. He says, some people don't like porn, and I say to them, hey, the state of Utah. So, but what is it about Utah? What is it about Utah that
all the Mormons?
Yeah, there was actually another company years ago called Clean Flicks.
First of all, most movies that you're gonna want something that's not obviously for kids. Generally, the whole movie itself deals with something that you probably shouldn't be watching with your kids anyway.
Yeah.
And these people are like really down to like the core, really like cutting every little thing out. And like I said, this has been going on for years. This is something they've been fighting for years. And basically, Hollywood is going to probably win in this situation, obviously. But, and some may argue, well, what about with the whole TV and ... Well, those are directly licensed through the film companies and so on. So there's a little bit different situation here. The convoluted way Rob that explained this, it's how they're doing it. And it's technically kind of illegal. It's all messed up in some fucked up way.
Yeah. Well, like I said, there's plenty. If you're renting Caligula to watch with your kids, you've made a bad choice. Okay, that's the thing. So, all right. But there's plenty of movies out there that you can watch with the family. Pick one, even if it's the Emoji Movie. We don't recommend people doing that. But like I said, there's plenty of choices out there. Oh boy.
Right.
Yeah. So anyway, and this is another story in the roundup. Tom, you're a big fan of Tremors, aren't you?
Indeed. I have them all. Seen them all.
Okay, actually, there's a reboot at Sci-Fi.
Yes.
This comes from Deadline. John Ellison Conley has been added as a series regular to Sci-Fi's Tremors, the Kevin Bacon starring Sci-Fi reboot, ordered to pilot in June. Conley, from LBJ, will play Harlan Mailer, described as a character whose obsession with those pesky graboid sandworms took a heavy personal toll. Based on Bacon's 1990 film of the same name, Tremors picks up 25 years after the killer graboid worms nearly destroyed the Nevada town of Perfection. Bacon plays Valentine McKee, who beat the sandworms once and will attempt to do it again. Though first he'll have to deal with age, alcohol, and a delusional hero complex. Conley's character, Harlan, is described as a scruffy mess and Valentine's closest pal. A genius who begins his adult years working for a biotech company, Harlan now dedicates himself to yoga, meditation, and self-exploration. Sounds like they're millennializing this character. Says Sci-Fi, Harlan was a geeky teenager obsessed with the idea of hunting the sandworm of Tatooine.
Well, the what?
Well, yeah. I don't think sandworms were on Tatooine.
I think they kind of mistaken Dune.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
But anyhow,
unless they mean the Sarlacc. The Sarlacc was just a.
That could be. That wasn't a worm though. But anyway,
it just stayed there. So
yeah, it was a hole in the ground with teeth originally, and then it got a beak. But anyway, moving on with this, there's been 4 other sequels that are supposedly unrelated to this, and another television show that's supposedly unrelated to this, with several other cast members from the original movies in it. And then I guess they're even making another one of those movies, but I have no idea how this is all going to connect, if at all. I think they're supposed to be separate. But anyway, go ahead, Rob.
Well, anyway, that's all. That's all I had on that. But I watched the original Tremors. Wasn't bad. What would you classify this? Sci-fi horror? What would you say?
It was a sci-fi comedy horror. Yeah. It was one of those movies that didn't do the greatest at the box office, but found its home, of course, on video and cable and television. And it was one of those movies that you found after a while that everybody who's seen it just loved it.
Yeah.
It wasn't like Citizen Kane or anything like that. It was just a good, fun flick.
Yeah.
And then it had several straight-to-video sequels that weren't that bad. And like I said, a television show that was but anyway.
Reba McEntire was in it, right?
Yeah, she was in the first film.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I remember Helen Shaver being in the second film. And
I believe so. Yeah.
yeah, big, nice, big, tall, blonde Helen Shaver. Ooh, I used to like her. But anyway, so, anyway, so like I said,
Yeah.
okay, I may check it out. I don't know, it depends.
Right.
So, and finally, we report the passing of many celebrities here on the Roundup. But actually, today I have some happier news. I have a birthday.
Hey, it's about time.
It's about time we celebrate. And if any of you out there are old enough to remember this gentleman, he is most known for broadcasting for ABC's Wild World of Sports, and for college football and Monday Night Football. Mr. Keith Jackson turns 89 years old. Keith Jackson, very distinctive voice. Hello, everybody. It's Keith Jackson here. We have a humdinger from Jacksonville. Bear Bryant's Alabama Crimson Tide takes on the Florida Gators. Oh, doctor! We have quite a matchup. Today's game brought to you by Buick. When you want to drive a fine car, drive Buick. And from Exxon Gasoline. Fuel that Buick with pure Exxon Gasoline at your local filling station. We'll be right back with the kickoff in just a moment. You know, that's my Keith Jackson. I've been dying to do my Keith Jackson impression. But Keith Jackson, legendary broadcaster. Used to do Monday Night Football with Howard Cosell and Don Meredith and Joe Name. And like I said, those are all names you probably don't recognize if you're under a certain age. So, but like I said, we report so many deaths on here. It's just nice to have a birthday. So Keith Jackson, happy birthday! And
maybe it's something we should. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, it's definitely something we should be doing more of.
Maybe.
Oh, yeah. Well, thank you very much, Robert Stromo, for the nice birthday wishes. And we'd like to bring this episode of Midnight Judge After Dark to a close.
I think you almost started turning into Ed Sullivan there at the end.
We got a really big show here tonight, Topa Gigio, and followed by the Beatles. Right here on Ed Sullivan's Toast of the Town. Oh, doctor! So, yes, it's 2017. We're making Ed Sullivan jokes.
Shit, we just lost half the audience. Oh, fuck it.
So anyway,
anyway.
See, now, okay. And if you like the show, then please subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to click the bell icon. That way you're notified when new content is uploaded. And if you really, really, really like the show, then consider supporting the show on Patreon. Patreon supporters will get all kinds of bonus content, bloopers, outtakes, lost episodes, behind the edge documentaries, the full uncut audio of the Alien mini documentary. I keep saying that because it was very difficult for me to record. And if you if you don't have the means to support the show through Patreon, then please subscribe to the show anyway, and subscribe to our sister channel, Midnight's Edge and Midnight's Edge After Dark. We will have actually more Trek Log coming to you very soon.
Big hit, yes.
Yes, we'd like to thank everyone for making that such a big hit and for putting a lot of pressure on me. And I don't respond well to pressure. So,
well.
Once again, everybody from Jacksonville, this is Keith Jackson bringing a close to Midnight's Edge After Dark. And we will see you next time.